Now, John, you organise the bird group for Flintshire U3A. Can you tell me, John, how that is organised?
Well, we meet the third Friday of every month. Usually about a dozen turn up. We meet, share cars, and we go off to various different locations.
Most of the sites that you go to would be coastal sites or marsh sites where you'd see basically waders or seabirds or that kind of...
That's right, yes. Yes. We go to places like Burton Mere Wetlands on the Wirral, which is an RSPB site. Beautiful site, it's a lovely centre overlooking some pools and ponds where you have the RSPB mascot, the avocet. To places on the North Wales coast, like the RSPB Conway. Sometimes we go up as far afield as Leighton Moss or Martin Mere. And we also go to places like Wepper Park, Wepper Woods, Wepper Brook near Connors Quay.
If we're thinking of people's gardens and the noises and bird song that they're likely to hear now, let's listen to the robin and then you can tell me something about it.
Okay, you've just heard the robin, which is the national bird, the robin. Lovely red breast, a feisty little bird that you will hear at this time of the year, singing away, proclaiming its territory. Quite aggressive, they will attack any robins that come in from outside. But they're marvellous little birds, very friendly, and if you're digging in the garden, you'll always see a robin coming down to eat the insects and the worms.
Now, the two birds that I often hear in our garden, and the ones that I'm always confused about, are the wood pigeon and the collared dove.
Okay, so the first one you heard there was the wood pigeon. The wood pigeon says, 2 cows please, Tuffy, 2 cows please, Tuffy, 2. But the collared dove says, United, United, United. They nest all the year. They will, whereas most birds have a nesting period in the spring, wood pigeons and collared doves nest throughout the year, and which accounts for their numbers.
They look very similar, don't they?
Well, the collared dove is a buff colour with a black half neck collar, which is really where it gets its name from. The wood pigeon is sort of bluey grey with an iridescent green and white neck patch.
But we're going to finish with two of the more common birds we'll find in our garden. First of all, we're going to hear the sparrow.
Yes, to be more precise, it's the house sparrow that we're listening to. It used to be common throughout the countryside. They're a very, very popular bird.
Have the numbers of the house sparrows declined?
They have indeed, yes. Declined in numbers over recent years, and nobody's quite sure why, but it's probably got something to do with the way in which farming practices have changed. Sparrows like to nest in colonies. They've got a conifer head. You'll probably find that there's a colony of house sparrows in there, all chattering away. We've got feeders. They'll come diving out of the hedge and feed.
And I suppose the bird that is very common in our gardens and the one that has one of the most attractive songs is the one we're going to finish with, and that's the blackbird. But we've got two recordings of the blackbird. The first one is its alarm call, and that's going to be followed by the summer song of the blackbird.
Right, so this is the alarm call of the blackbird. It's a sound that you'll hear most often at this time of year. they will be skulking in hedges and in the shrubs in your garden. If you hear blackbirds, and blackbirds can be seen flying about in the garden and looking very agitated and making this noise that you've just heard, they are going to be visitors clashing with our resident birds. Right, well that was the sound, the summer sound of the blackbird. It's redolent of summer evenings, having a glass of wine at the barbecue and listening to the blackbird singing from the shrubbery. It's a beautiful mellifluous sound, very, very British.
But thank you very much, John, and I hope you manage to all listen to some of those sounds during the coming months.